Okay, we're off and running. Dani just told me I talk too much and I need to make this quick today, but we'll see if that's possible.
Well, you
Good
just told
morning.
me that when I type, it's too loud.
Well, yeah. I mean, when we do a show, like the point is for you to put some focus on the topics, but the whole time you're secretly, we can see with your eyes, everyone watching can see that you're doing emails on the side.
well, right now I'm on Amazon on the side, so
Oh, you're on Amazon. Okay.
that'll
Very
cost you.
good. Yeah, for real. Good morning, everybody. I don't know if Augustus is here. He commented at 2:30 a.m. at our time, getting out ahead. Notice we scheduled. Justin, what's up? Okay, some people trickle in. So today we're just going to go over a number. Oh, hang on. So yesterday, Dani was asking who I have to go up against in the Coffee Pods and Wads Super Show next week, the super grand finale of the debate show. I won the first season back in I don't even know what month that was. April, May, something like that. Long time ago. Long time ago. I was a much younger man then. And then since then, Colton Mertens won the second season, and Barkley Dale over here, he kind of won the third season yesterday, but I think he's just been absolutely destroyed like 2 or 3 times on the show before, just like obliterated by everybody who he tried to debate with. And then he was a last second fill in for someone who couldn't make it yesterday and somehow squeaked past the 2 people that were on the show to make it to this grand super final. So I will make sure that he is completely just destroyed before the end of it. I'll probably hone in on him and try to break down his psyche in the first question so that he just stands no chance in the next 2. He's 1-1. Okay, 1-1. I'm 3-0. So I'm about to be 4-0. Anyway. So today we're going to fire off just a bunch of little topics. I'm going to try to get Dani's opinion on it. Hopefully our internet connection holds up. It has been definitely quite shaky lately. I don't know why. I better call Spectrum and figure it out. But
dogs are fighting. I'm eating a bagel. You get what you get today.
You're about to be fired as a co-host of this show with me.
Maybe this is the new show.
No, I will not. My attention will not stand for it.
I didn't say you were going to be on the show.
Oh, that would be okay then. Okay. So anyway,
Dude.
You want me to make it quick? A few things I want to go over, then I have some rapid fire questions for you. Actually, let's start with rapid fire. Let's get your brain fired up. Okay, you don't have to go into too many details, but we'll rapid fire your opinions. Okay, if you were buying bikes for your gym, would you get Echo bikes or Assault bikes?
Echo
over Assault. And would you prefer a fan bike over a bike erg, or which do you prefer?
Prefer Echo bike.
Well, what does that mean? Prefer Echo bike? Like, were you gonna say something else?
If you can't get Echo bikes and bike ergs, I would go Echo bike.
Okay, gotcha. But you do think that bike ergs are worthwhile?
Yeah, but I think they're worthwhile. But would still, if your options is most gyms go rowers, then they go a bike option. So I'd go Echo bike, and then they usually probably go to a ski erg next, and then like bike erg's usually probably 4th in line, I would guess.
Okay. And then if you were starting a gym or buying new equipment for your a gym, would you try to get all of the same equipment? For example, like let's say you were going to get 15 machines. Would you start off by getting 15 rowers so that everybody's on the same thing all the time and then slowly add in other little pieces? Or would you try to get a mix of machines, knowing that if you got like 5, 5, and 5 of something, your classes would never have everyone on the same machine?
That's a tricky question. That's not rapid fire.
Well, it was just on my list, so I figured we kind of brought it up.
If you're doing 15 machines, okay, but it's like how many people are going to be in your classes? Like, so I don't know.
Let's say 4 to 12 people are going to show up at your new gym for classes, somewhere between 4 and 12 people.
I'd probably be doing 8 rowers. How many is 8 plus 8, 5, 2? What does that equal? 8, 5, 3.
That's 15. So 8 rowers, 5 what? Bikes?
5 bikes, 2 ski ergs.
Oh, okay.
That'd be my first. I'm gonna mute.
Do you want to send them outside?
They're eating the trash on the ground. Go. The bag.
So our house is under some renovation right now, lengthy renovation. So it's been a challenge. That's why we haven't been streaming that much, because there's been people sawing, banging, making all the noise in the world within our house. So making it impossible for us to get on here and do anything.
And
So
there's
we're
this
taking advantage
piece of
a little
plastic
window.
that he is living in and ripping apart right now. But
Augustus says, would you buy the Rogue rowers going forward or stick with C2? I know my opinion.
C2.
For sure. For sure. It's just so maybe 10 years from now we have a different conversation, but the C2 rowers are so reliable, and we use the metrics off that monitor. Everyone knows them so well. C2 is the standard in Rogue
also,
if they want to compete.
Competition and stuff, like the metrics aren't going to be the same. So do those rowers even get, like in the open and stuff, can you even use them? Like probably not.
No. Can you send them out, please?
They're just going to bark outside. Come on, outside.
Let them. They're not going to stop inside. For sure. C2, anything the C2 offers, I'm going to pick that over competitors, even Rogue putting stuff out now, just in terms of, like she had said, competitions, the metrics we use, the consistency of them. And they've been proven, in my opinion, at least, maybe other people have had other experiences, but that stuff doesn't break down that much. Like on a ski erg, maybe you got to replace the shock cord once in a while. The rowers, little things break, but if they do, you can always get the replacement part. You're never having to junk the whole thing. And C2's got incredible customer service for that stuff. So I will not stray from them anytime in the next, probably ever in my lifespan in gyms.
Also, for us out here, the shipping with Rogue is fraudulent to get it out here, whereas C2 is actually somewhat reasonable. We order 14 rowers from them, and it was like $1,000 to ship out here. And then I had to order 4, meaning 8 J cups for a new rig at Kailua. It came out to $350, and the shipping was $500. I didn't pay it.
Yeah, for J cups. For
8 little J cups.
Mm-hmm.
Everything with Rogue, I think they're like marking up their freight to just get extra money, but so.
Okay. Continuing in line with this, are ski ergs worth it? Are they really worth getting a couple ski ergs, or should you just get another bike or another rower?
I don't think you need them. I think you watch the majority of people who use them too, like in a class setting, like they can't like do it. Like it just looks like silly, and they're not like understanding the like range of motion, or just like it just like they're just like kind of pulling it with their arms, and it just seems, I don't know, for a competitor, sure. I don't think that the average gym needs it at all, though.
I mean, they can be a good tool if someone's going to spend the time practicing, but you just wouldn't make that an emphasis because people aren't going to use it as much, right? So I kind of agree with you there. I like having them. We have gyms that have them. We have gyms that don't, and it doesn't seem to make a big difference in to have them or not to have them. What about assault runners? We have a couple gyms with them, several without. What are your thoughts on those?
If you need them, you need them. If you don't, you don't. I think people can just run outside. Again, unless you have somebody who's training for something specific that they know it's going to come up, then they should practice running on it. But the general membership base does not need to run on an assault runner.
I mean, we do have one gym where there is absolutely no outdoor running, so we've invested in a couple of them for that. But
in the Phoenix gym, because it's 120 degrees, so that's again reasonable. Right. But Phoenix gym's also big enough that people can do like shuttle runs if they have to be inside. But yeah, you can't really run there in the summer. Way too hot.
Yep. Corey Leonard, I have ski intervals every week. Well, I assume that they're in your program, and your program is probably more of a competitor program as opposed to an affiliate program. And so I think a lot of competitor programs just think they have to throw them in, even though they may not be even as valuable as some other intervals. Nothing wrong with them, but anyway. Last question I'll give you on equipment for rapid fire. Dumbbells, are they worth the investment? Dumbbells, we know, can be upwards of like $3, $4, $5 a pound, depending on the type of dumbbell you get. Are they worth investing thousands and thousands of dollars into for your gym, or should you just be buying a few cheap, crappy ones off Facebook Marketplace?
Well, yeah, I guess depends on your budget, right? But people are usually going to break the dumbbells, so I think if you can get a decent set off Facebook, sure. But they also take up a lot of space, and I feel like the dumbbell, like I don't remember like ever using dumbbells like in the first like 5 years of like CrossFit and even competing. Like I don't like never touched a dumbbell. I'm actually thinking back to the first gym I went to where like our team qualified for like regionals that year. I don't even know if I can't even remember where the dumbbells were. And this was a massive gym. So there wasn't like, there might've been some dumbbells, but there wasn't like what you see now where you need to have 135s, all these 50s, like 70s too. Like then you need, you know, scaled weights, 20s, 15s. I don't remember there ever being dumbbells ever in like workouts or anything.
I don't remember the year, but it all changed when Dave Castro posted that photo prior to the Open saying like they're coming or whatever, and he posted a pair of like 50s and 35s, and so everyone scrambled for those. And then at that point, that was like, it's one of those turning points in just CrossFit in general where everything got a dumbbell variation after that. Before that, there were certainly dumbbells in old school main site programming, but it was mostly barbell based. But once they got introduced to the Open, people started to get more comfortable with them, and then they became kind of a staple in pretty much every single program out there, whether class, competitor,
they also
whatever.
did the year of the dumbbell at regionals. Remember that?
That was after that. But yes. Yeah. So between those two things, yeah.
Yeah, again, we did it for so long without the dumbbell. Like, again, general affiliate member, general class. Like, if they just didn't exist, I don't think anybody would know the difference or care.
If they were never introduced to them, maybe. But don't you also think that maybe they're a really good tool for newer people? Like with our like wellness WOD that we do every day as a version of class workout, like we always have a dumbbell variation every single day. So we obviously find them useful in that sense, but I don't know.
I think it should have just been the standard should have just been, and I've never actually used those like Rogue adjustable dumbbells where you slide the plates on, but like that should have been like the standard of what everybody has. Like that should have just been what wound up in CrossFit gyms. You just have the little poles and then you have the little weights and then you build your weights. Much more like much better space, right?
Yeah, I actually like that take.
Those people that never became a thing. And I always like thought about that because they were weird too. You couldn't like, they always felt like you could see that like just the weight, like it just looked weird, right? But as far as like what you should have in your gym, it's like we never have the right weights for everybody. Like it's just hard. They take up so much space and they're so freaking expensive too.
They are. I forgot about those really nice Rogue adjustable ones that they had made, but that would be.
You can't like hit the ground, like you can't like dumbbell snatch with them like normal. Like I don't know. They just like seeing people use them has always looked weird. I don't know. I can't. It just like looks funny. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe because you can't like get your hand up against like the head of the dumbbell the same way because it's probably just like a little metal like.
Well, they use just the Rogue change plates. So it's like the regular white 10s, the blue 5s, whatever. Those were the same plates they used for those, like the comp plates. But
well, maybe they created like a thicker like weight or something like that to make it look less. I don't know. But those
I like that idea. I really do. I wish that was I wish that was adopted
before everybody went and bought all these dumbbells.
Yeah. Okay, a couple little comments. Murat's here. What did I miss? Oh, we've just been talking about equipment that maybe you should or shouldn't have, whatever, in your affiliate. Nothing crazy yet. Don says, recommend a box have more dumbbells that are heavier than 70s. That's nice. It's a luxury, I think, though.
Our North Shore gym has, I think, up to 120s, and they are dust collectors. I don't think they've ever left the rack.
Not often. Kenneth the Lap, what if Seth shaved his head? That the hat. Wait, what? What if Seth shaved his head that the hat covers and kept everything? Oh, so I have like just bald here, but the side stays long. Yeah,
that's like kind of what it looks like in real life.
That's what I was gonna say. That may be what's coming on its own in the next handful of years, which is part of why Dani doesn't want me to cut my hair, even though I want to cut it all the time. Okay, carrying on. I have a few bigger topics that you can talk about, things that I think that you feel quite strongly about. First one I'm going to talk about is, we may have touched on it before, but discounts. When you set up your membership pricing, what sort of things should you take into consideration when it comes for offering or not offering discounts? CrossFit in the past has had like law enforcement, military built in. They've expanded now, like a lot of gyms do like nursing discounts. Like they've just made up an excuse for every single reason to give a discount. Then there's obviously families that come to gyms, and people realize that if everyone paid full membership, this is something we talk about frequently, it prices some families out depending on how expensive that can get to have 3, 4, 5 people on one account. Where do you draw the line, and kind of what do you think about discounts?
Generally speaking, no discounts, basically ever. Though, like, actually, sorry, the one general discount we do, which is the same, I think, for most of our gyms. I don't even know. We do $5. So it's $10 off a month. We don't do like a percentage because that's obviously a lot more. So we do $10 off a month. That is for full-time first responder and full-time student. That's it. We don't do a teacher discount. We don't do a nurse discount. We had like an ER doctor ask for a discount. And I'm just like, you're making more money than anybody. We draw the line. So it's military, full-time first responder, full-time student. That's it. Then the other thing we'll do is the same discount if like 2 people sign up. So like a couple, husband, wife, whatever, they would each get the discount.
It's not a percentage though. It's a flat rate.
Flat rate. And it's, and it's only also, we only do it on the unlimited membership. So if they want a 2 times a week membership, no discount ever. Like not military, nothing. Nobody gets discounted 2 times a week. That's just how we do it. I feel like I don't know. I actually don't know what's standard anymore. It seems like everyone's trying to cop a discount for everything. Especially like some of our gyms out here, they're like 90% like military like members. So it's like, we'd have to it's like almost makes our actual membership price like doesn't even matter. Like, cause just everyone's going to be on a discount, you know?
Yeah. If you extend it or you extend it to no one, but it's definitely an interesting conundrum because certain groups feel like they deserve the discount. Cause like even the military thing, which I have no problem if you choose or not choose to extend discount to military, well, like that's fine. But then you get like emails, hey, I'm a wife of a military member, like I get the discount, right? Or hey, my kids want to use the gym, I'm a military member, so my kids should get the military discount. It's like, are you discounting for everybody? Or are you discounting, because someone's brother's uncle's sister is in the military? So like people want to extend that and they expect the discount. So sometimes when you don't have them at all, it just makes it easier. Hey, this is the price. We don't offer discounts. And the same thing happens. In one of my first gyms, I cut out the first responder discount altogether. We made a membership adjustment on the price after a couple of years. And I said, no more first responder discounts. I was a first responder at the time. And I just said, hey, like, you're my people. And I'm deciding that everyone's going to pay the same rate. And no one pushed back on that. But the problem with first responders is there are so many variations of them now. It's not just like cop and fire anymore. There's like so many people who are like, oh, I'm a first responder. I consider myself that. And it's like, it's just annoying to have to say again.
People that take the calls when you like call something.
Dispatchers.
Well, yeah, I had one of them ask for the discount saying that they're first responder. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if you are.
They don't actually respond. Well, they're not responding to anything. They're sitting in a chair, and so they're important. They're important, just like everyone's important and whatever their role is. But yeah, so like again, it just gets muddy, and then it makes for hurt feelings, and it makes for other people who are upset. So discounts are tricky. We try to limit them, and then a lot of people do like 10-15%. We just do a small flat rate so that it's almost like a just a little nominal like token of appreciation sort of thing, as opposed to it actually cutting 10% into your revenue. Murat says, Two Brain and Best Hour recommend no discounts at all. Yeah, that's kind of what we're saying. Again, we have 5 gyms, all very different demographics. And so we play it based on, and a lot of gyms we've taken over that have had previous policies that it's hard to change all of them. So yeah, we're more on the side of no discount, but definitely will offer a promo now and then to give a temporary discount for somebody to get someone in the door and have a chance to convert them, get them going. Or like she said, if we have a big family, we might offer slight, rate adjustment on each of them because we have 4 people getting paid on a credit card and it's $800 a month for the family. So yeah, more often than not, we're both kind of avoid offering discounts if you can help it. Just makes things easier. Okay, switching gears. Oh, there he is.
He came back in and he started fighting right when he came back in.
Yeah, he's so that's Pee-Pee. He's a half German Shepherd, half Chihuahua. If you can imagine how he was created, it would be quite a spectacle. Okay, What about how do you feel about things like nutrition challenges or movement challenges or other like 4, 6, 8 week things you can do in your gym to create new revenue or try to build habits? Like, what are your thoughts on that overall?
I think it's great if you have a plan and staff to promote it. Like if you're just an owner and you're trying to just like kind of get these things going and you're kind of like it's only cool if your coaches think it's cool. I kind of always have believed that. So if we're like, hey, we're going to do a nutrition challenge and our coaches aren't going to participate or help promote it or whatever, then it's just going to be a flop. So it's like you really need to get your whole like team on board and maybe distribute some of the like roles within the little thing to some of your staff. Otherwise, it's probably not going to work. Though I don't think they're really necessary. Like I don't think it's like at the end of the day, you know, your gym, generally speaking, is like a bunch of adults. Like, you know, sometimes I think some of these challenges can be like definitely like a little silly, and like some of them that I see online, I'm just like, I would like never do that. Like, but I think some of them definitely are pretty cool.
Yeah, I just like that sometimes those challenges can pull people back in who might actually be like fringe members. Like you don't even realize that they're maybe on the outs or have been slightly disengaged mentally with the process because maybe they've been there a couple of years or maybe they never really got the experience they were looking for and they're just kind of like contemplating how much longer they're going to stay. But then you do a little challenge or something and you give them something to look forward to or a goal or something in there, it pulls them back in, it re-engages them and then makes them a stronger part of the process. So maybe, you know, a 4, 6, 8 week challenge, whatever, ends up extending the life of a member another 12 to 24 months because they have this newfound, you know, either results, progress, or focus in the gym just from a little challenge. And maybe that works really well as a retention tool for you. So that's sort of the way I think of them. In the short term, like I like nutrition challenges end up being a little bit like crash diets, I think, for a lot of members. We've, you know, I'm sure you've done a number of paleo challenges or like whole 30 when that was a big thing. And people get excited about it. They stick to it for a little while. If your challenge is too long, they end up fading away by the end. Someone inevitably makes an excuse for some alcohol or something, and then it just turns into every other night and then turns into them failing the challenge. So if you make it short and just use it as a way to teach good habits, sometimes you can keep people in. If you make it too long, people are going to fall apart anyway, fade off, and then it's not going to really have been that effective. So yeah, just depends on how you structure it. Boy, the dogs are active today, huh?
You didn't play with them this morning.
Oh, I did for quite a while.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I did. We were running around from about 6 a.m. to 6:20. Yes, they are. So the next thing we'll kind of talk about, when is the right time to do a price increase or a rate increase on your membership? How do you know when it's the right time to do that in terms of, has it just been a long time so you feel like, you know, the market deserves a rate increase? Is your rent going up so you're kind of making that move based, reactionary based on other expenses in your business going up? How do you know when it's time to increase your rates? And by the way, I see all your questions on the side, guys. We'll get to those, all the questions at the end as well.
My 2 times that I would look into a rate increase. One is when your expenses go up. So we get, most of our gyms, I think, do like a yearly rent bump. So we don't go up every year in rent, but every year in like a membership increase. But like, again, our Kailua gym, we just did our first rate increase in like 3.5 years, and our rent had gone up, you know, over $1,000 a month since when we started. So that was kind of time for there. The other time, which is my favorite time, is if your gym is like, again, we talked one of these other times about having like a small gym. If your gym's like bursting at the seams and like you can't basically even take more members because it's so busy, then I say don't go get a bigger gym. I say increase your prices. So make it, you know, better to, you know, more expensive for members to stay. And then, then your revenue goes up and your expenses don't, which is awesome.
Yeah. And you have to accept the fact that you may lose a couple members. Just some people don't want their prices of anything going up and they quit based on principle, even though if it doesn't affect them really in their bottom line at all. Like Murat here has a comment. People get so damn mad about price increases. They'll pay $7 for their daily Starbucks, pay for literally everything else because of how the economy is. But how dare you raise the price for the gym? Yeah. And
we talk about that all the time. It feels, they feel so personally attacked by like you as their, you know, like we're friends with a lot of these people. So they're just like, what, like, why would our friends like do this to us? But like, they're not paying the
So
bill.
greedy.
Yeah. And it's also like for us, like we don't have another job. So it's like, it is like our livelihood. So, you know, every time rent does go up, bills go up, our electric has gone just crazy on the island in general. So like all these bills are going up and they see it at their houses, or even if they like their electric at their houses, or if they're like renting, you know, place to live, like everything's going up. But yeah, we do like $5-10 increase and people can get really upset about it, but got to happen sometimes.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot of it has to do with, or at least the response to it has to do with the culture in your gym. You're always going to have that one or two loudmouths that get really upset about anything like that. But for the most part, like we always talk about the Kailua gym because that's kind of like our shining star out of the group just because of the way it's just transformed. But we had almost no pushback on a rate increase after a handful of years. And we put a ton back into the gym based on that rate increase. And we had like 2 people who were constantly complaining about it, and we called them out on it. And then that complaining pretty much stopped. But we were very straightforward with it. People understood, you know, people gripe about it for 36 hours and then they just keep showing up to the gym. So I wouldn't be afraid to do that. Sometimes you have to, and people are afraid to make that move because they're afraid they're going to lose too many people or something's going to happen. But if you don't make that move eventually, you're just going to, your gym's just going to go under essentially with being eaten up by the overhead costs that are not going to stop. You can't go everywhere else until the cost is just of operating to just slow down. It's just going to keep going up on you. So you're going to have to react accordingly. But yeah, how dare you raise my monthly membership by $5? Pretty much. Yeah. Yep. It's going to keep happening. The price of things is going to keep going up, and everyone knows it. They feel it in every other part of their life. It's probably why they get frustrated. Okay. Last little topic today. We're kind of cruising, then we'll take some questions and we'll wrap up. I'm curious your thoughts on what are the 2 or 3 strongest traits you look for if you were going to hire new coaches. What are the things
These
you
are
care?
such hard questions. Why are you doing this today?
Because this is what the people want to know. These are people. The messages I get about this show.
For anybody who's going to show up. That's trait number 1. Brian, if you're watching.
That's well, ooh, yeah, he's in trouble with us today.
Whoever's going to show up. That's literally trait number 1.
That's actually really fair. We'll call it reliability. Yeah. Yep. That's
number 1 by a million. I don't even know what comes after that. Like, obviously, again, you want to hope that they care about CrossFit, care about your members, care about, you know, want to help clean, want to help, you know, upkeep your gym, like also carry themselves well outside of your gym. But at the end of the day, if they show up, it's pretty good for us.
Dani likes dogs, as you can tell by her name, but the dogs don't like her, especially when she's trying to get anything done. They're out of control.
They're being so bad today. This is real life, people.
Yeah, so I totally agree. Having your coaches who we typically, not always, but almost always, bring on coaches from within the community to begin with. So somebody who's been there, somebody who demonstrates that they actually care about the place and they want to, even if they don't know anything about coaching, maybe they've been a member for a while and they want to do that. I would much rather hire that person than somebody who's emailing me their resume, who just moved to town, who's got a level 3 that wants to come in and coach. Not that I don't want to meet that person and talk to them and see if they'd be a good fit, but I, like Dani said, I want someone who's always showing up for classes, like taking classes, because I know if they're doing that consistently for themselves, that they'll also do it consistently for us if they're going to help us, work with us, all that. People. Wait,
I have a number 2.
Go ahead.
I appreciate when they like just do our programming and or take classes or whatever. Like I don't think we would like not have a coach if they were like, oh, we're following like a different program or whatever. Sometimes people do like different strength cycles or whatever. And like, we don't care, but it's more just like I hate when like a coach is like doing like a completely different program, because the members look at them and they go, oh, like what's wrong with the like workouts that we're doing? Why are they doing something so different? You know what I mean? When the people look up to them. So I think showing up and like believing in the business and what the offerings are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that should, Well-timed mute. They are out of control. Yeah, so I totally agree. Showing up, opening the door, being there, and then demonstrating that they care about the place enough that they're going to, again, just take that extra step above and beyond. And also that they're so vested that they actually believe in what's happening in the program. So they're doing the programming themselves and they're kind of leading the way just from example, which is really important. I would just say that, like, having coaching experience obviously is helpful, and it will bring your members value if someone comes in with a lot of experience, but they, one, may not coach the way you want them to, or may not flow with your program or the way that members are used to. And that may not be a bad thing, but sometimes it's easier when somebody's been taking your classes forever and they have the idea of what you want that style to look like, and they can replicate that. Because any coach that's got a good attitude, that really wants to dedicate themselves to the gym, if they don't have experience, they can learn. You can teach them, or they can learn everything they need to learn to deliver value to class. They can learn movement progressions. They can learn, how to see, correct, cue, all that stuff. So that stuff, you want to take on yourself. I think going nuts still. But you can do a lot of that teaching, but you can't teach someone how to show up on time or have a good attitude or all that shit. That's stuff you want to really look at first. Yeah.
Commented over here, like, about following, like, I think another program, whatever. I think this is exactly why when, we started our company Jump Ship with the Jump Ship 90, and we didn't offer class immediately. That wasn't it. Corey Leonard. We started, we didn't start class programming right away. But that's why we take the 90 and then morph it into class. So we do have people who, our coaches sometimes do the 90 version, sometimes they do the class version. But then, like, to the members, like, their coaches are doing the same movements, the same, like, general workout style. And I do think that is, like, really important. The other thing too is, like, I think when the coach starts doing some other program, naturally some of the better athletes start to be like, oh, can I work out with you? And then it turns into this little secret community of, like, other programming. And that I hate. That is not okay. Don't let that happen.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's dangerous for the the good of your community, for sure. So
look at what's happening.
Oh my God. He's like a mountaineer. Sorry, I'm gonna get some of these questions that were bringing that. So yeah. Corey's complaining about the program that their gym follows. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely going to be kind of an issue. It's weird. So obviously with our gyms, we have the advantage of they're run under our brand. So everyone just accepts, we have our online brand, Jump Ship. It's reasonably well known in the programming world. So people just understand that that's what they're going to be doing if they come to our gym. We have had people at other gyms dance around with other programs for a short time. For a number of reasons, and we actually don't.
They're always like the weirdo in the corner. Like, nobody. Yeah. Luckily, it never turned into, like, a thing. We just kind of let them, and then they just kind of, like, leave, and it's just like, okay, like.
Or they come back around and they go, oh, I want to take class again and stop doing this by myself. Yeah, because they stop having fun, right? So we don't actually push the issue. Like, it's not like, oh, if you're not doing Jump Ship, you got to get the heck out of here. Like, we're just like, okay, I can't help you anymore. Like, you can come use the space and pay an open gym membership. But when you're ready to come back, like, we'll be here for you. And that seems to have worked out pretty well. Gus also doesn't follow his gym's programming. And if I ever looked at, he sent me a sample of his gym's programming and he hates it. So,
and I get that too. I totally
get it.
I also get it. Especially if you want to, like, compete and, like, your gym's programming is, like, kind of weird. Yeah, no, I get it. But from, like, a community standpoint, from a gym owner standpoint, I'm sure your gym owners would love to see you following the gym's program, whether it's good or sucks or not. That's the overarching thing here, is the owners would want their coaches following the programming, taking class, being able to relate to members.
In a perfect world,
your gym programming doesn't suck, but that's what we're looking for, hopefully.
Yeah. In a perfect world, again, we understand other people have needs. And then Corey says they rarely see me actually doing my programming. So if you're a coach and you're training when the gym's closed or whatever, and no one's seeing you, like, fine. But a lot of times, a lot of gyms really like that leaderboard thing, which we talked about a couple episodes ago. And a lot of coaches usually put their scores in the leaderboard. So if you're always missing from that, or you don't have, like, hey, I did it earlier today, you should try to chase my time. I mean, even if they're not seeing you.
Just being able to talk to the members about, like, the experience you might have had in the workout, like, they just get excited to be like, oh, did you do this yet? Or like, you know what I mean? Like it just kind of becomes like some like banter and stuff that I think people enjoy.
Yeah, it definitely adds to it for sure. It's not a necessity, but it definitely adds to the overall experience. Dawn, I've also seen other programming that we know that have been copying jump ship programming.
Wait, can you tell them about the guy?
I don't know the specific one you're talking about, but I'll just say we've had numerous messages.
You know what I'm talking about.
You have to send me a private message in the chat if it's a secret.
Okay, I'll just say it. We know this guy.
Go for it. Yeah, you can do it.
And he's
a nice guy.
Nice guy. He was selling our programming, but in Spanish. And then every time, I can't even laugh. Every time that Seth would like shoot a video talking about the program, he would shoot an identical video, but in Spanish, saying the same exact stuff. And we just let him because it was just funny.
He did a good job copying it. I gotta say, he did a great job.
Oh, we should just like start the Spanish version of Jump Ship, but it's so funny. But yeah, we've seen that a couple times.
El Jumpo Shippo.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think he might still be doing it. It's been going on for years, and we just kind of.
It's a company, and he changed the name, and it's not El Jumpo Shippo. It's like something completely different, but it's copy paste job. The videos, what was cracking me up though.
Yeah, it would be funny if we found a YouTube channel where he was replicating our live streams. That would really be the icing on the cake. But we've also had a ton of DMs from people over the years about how, and I chalk this up a lot of times to just, hey, it's CrossFit where we're using the same movements, we're using the same stuff, but they're like, hey, I just saw this month of this other big company's affiliate programming. It looks identical to the month you guys did 3 months ago. And I'm like, okay. It would be easy for any coach to just like subscribe, download, and just reproduce our stuff and put it out there. And since we're not one of the bigger companies, it may fly under the radar. So I've thought about that as a possibility, and with the amount of reports we've had about stuff like that going on, but we don't do anything about it. I don't really care. Just keep moving forward. But yeah, kind of funny. We're easy targets because we have a small niche. We're not huge. Like if someone was ripping off Mayhem completely, 10,000 people would recognize it right away, but it doesn't happen with us. All right, let me see if there's any more questions in here before we wrap up for the day. I tried to keep this quick for you as you requested.
Yeah, my bagel's like ruined. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll get you another one. Any more questions, guys? Anything else you want to throw in the chat that we can answer for you real quick? Oh, Don Neary. For memberships, do you do monthly charge or bi-weekly? We have our gyms on bi-weekly, and we do basically twice a month. A couple months a year, you're going to have a third charge that rolls in there. That's an advantage for the gym owners. It helps them
Seth doesn't know anything about this. So
okay.
Because you don't even know how to. Seth can't log into Wodify, guys. I'm not.
That's not true. I'll do it right now on my phone to prove I can log in.
Wodify, and he cannot sign somebody in. I'm not even making it up.
Okay, I'll do it right now. Go ahead. Tell your story though.
Anyways, it seems like most of the gyms either are doing a bi-weekly or like every 4 weeks, which gets the same thing. It gets you the extra payment at the end of the year. We do bi-weekly because I think some of our gyms are pretty expensive. So I think from a marketing standpoint, you can say, like instead of it's $150 a month, you're like, oh, it's $75 every 2 weeks. I think it sounds a lot more appealing to people to only have a smaller charge to their card, every 2 weeks versus this like much bigger charge. That's why we do the 2 weeks instead of the 4 weeks. Granted, it accomplishes the same thing. Now, the only other thing with the 4 weeks is now I have to deal with like failed cards and like kind of doing stuff like that, every 2 weeks instead of every 4.
Yes.
I like the bi-weekly. Again, I think from just telling people, hey, my prices are they just sounds a lot better, especially because at that point it's usually like under 100 because most gyms are probably around that $200 a month-ish. So to be like, oh, it's, I can't do math, $90 every 2 weeks instead of $180 every 4. It just sounds like, oh, like $90, like whatever. It just sounds, I think, a little bit better.
I like it in terms of, I actually really like the ability to shorten the cancellation window. Like a lot of times we'd say, it's a month, if we're doing monthly charges, it's a month cancellation notice. And that, it's not crazy at all, I don't think, especially if you're not charging a startup fee or something like that in your gym. But, I like the selling point of saying, hey, There's no long-term commitment. It's literally 2 weeks. So 2 weeks is the longest period of time you'll ever go that you're, within a cancellation window. And I think that just alleviates a lot of people who don't want to adhere to your policy at the end of their membership for whatever reason. It just makes it a lot simpler, 2 weeks versus the month. So I like that. I think it diffuses some conflict, and I think it's more reasonable. So I like that part of it myself. All right, what else we got? None of the owners of our gym do the workouts. Go ahead.
I'm personally super against like having billing run like throughout the entire month. So we do all of our billing on, so if somebody signs up, what day is today? Thursday, they're getting prorated to a Monday. So they're getting prorated to a Monday, and then their billing is bi-weekly on Mondays after that. So like 95% of our charges are all coming through just like Monday. There's obviously a couple random stragglers in there that were either on hold or whatever, that their billing date kind of like adjusts. But so I do not just let, it's not, it doesn't start on your sign up day. You just get like a prorated charge and then bi-weekly on Mondays. So in every Monday is like my credit card, like take care of day. And then don't have to do it again basically till next Monday.
Yeah. Why bi-weekly better cash flow? Kind of, yes, but also it's a way to slightly raise your rates if you're going from monthly to bi-weekly without having this big you just get a couple more payments because of the way that the calendar works. So it helps.
Again, it's the same as every 4 weeks, which is very standard across like Planet Fitness. Any gym is going to do every 4 weeks because it's 13 monthly payments instead of 12.
Right. Don says, but Watify 2.3 or whatever, their transaction fee. So you can, if you're so inclined, you can pass on transaction fees to your members if you'd like. It can be part of their taxes and fees sort of thing. That's up to you. It's a personal decision if you want to do that, or if you want the business to eat that, and it's just another expense. So you figure out what you want to do with that fee. Okay. Anything else you want to add for today? I think we'll
Watify now allows you to pass on all transaction fees. So we did that when we did our last rate change. So all of the transaction fees, and we also have to charge Hawaii tax out here. So it's just all lumped into one.
Yep. Okay. We did it. Another episode. Note to you. Don't click off this
document that Augustus sent you that you're not.
Oh, it's just a I keep forgetting. I pulled it up 10 times and been distracted. It's a sample of his affiliate programming he wants me to see because he wants me to hate on it with him. Yeah. So I'll look at it. I keep forgetting. I haven't read my DMs. I keep forgetting. Note for you. Do not click off this window until it tells you to, because it's downloading your best version. So when this goes onto YouTube,
it always says free. I don't click off of it.
Just making sure. Okay, guys. Thank you. We'll be back again next week, hopefully. Keep bringing your questions or whatever in the comments, and or DM them to us. We always like show topic suggestions. So we'll be back. See you guys next time.